Since you guys really enjoyed the last reaction video, and it was a genuinely wild experience because of how insanely absurd the lists were, I thought it would be fun to look at episode rankings. And again, we can start with IGN. And also, before I go through, I'm going to predict that the Battle of the Bastards and the Winds of Winter episodes from Season 6 are probably going to be in like the top 5 of every list because of how everyone loves them and their like popular opinions. Also, I won't look at every single spot on these lists and will only stop if something's out of the ordinary. Kissed by Fire at 21? Really? That seems very low. I think I had it originally at number 5 on my personal list. But like, you have one of the best scenes in the show, like the best dialogue scene being the bath scene with Jamie. Not to mention a handful of other great scenes that accompany that bath scene. I feel like Kiss by Fire is like a consistently really good episode, so it's already really low. Fire and Blood this low? The Watchers on the Wall at 14? Whoa, okay. IGN, I thought The Watchers on the Wall was one of the best battle episodes. The action is outstanding, the cinematography thoroughly elevates it with crazy wonders, like when that shot sweeps around the castle showing like a 360 of all the action. So many characters that you care so much about surviving. And even the dialogue scenes before the battle are absolute bangers, like with Maester Aemon talking to Samuel about his past love. So to me, The Watchers on the Wall is an absolute banger throughout, and it's kind of crazy that I guess they're listing this as the worst battle episode, so yeah. And then The Door. They put The Door at number 10. Like, if you're just looking at The Door from their perspective of Season 6, then I could see why you love this episode so much, but given that the Hoard Revelation means absolutely nothing in Season 7 and 8, it really deteriorates the quality of this episode and, like, overall twist. Not to mention that there's really no other good scenes in this episode besides this revelation that occurs. The only other decent one is with Kinvara. Like, the acting is really good there, but it has really no like plot relevance. And then the rest of the scenes are just pretty mediocre. I don't need to list through them. So the fact that this is beating so many other like Season 1 great episodes is kind of wild to me. So it's already off to a bad start in my opinion. And then number 9, The Mountain and the Viper. To me, this is pretty much fine. It was kind of close to cracking my top 10. There wasn't any other scenes within this episode besides the ending that really like wowed me. And then The Winds of Winter at number 8. At least it's not like number 1, they're kind of putting it modestly kind of low. I still wouldn't put it on my list because there's still a lot of bad scenes or dumb scenes, like with Littlefinger talking to Sansa, and Sansa still trusting him for whatever reason. Sansa talking to Jon Snow, and Jon Snow thanking her when it was almost like she was the reason why they lost the battle because she was holding everyone back. And Arya like spontaneously teleporting to the twins and letting Jaime go for whatever reason. Despite the Light of the Seven like 20-minute sequence being like one of the best scenes in the show, I think The Winds of Winter is primarily just like payoff-inducing dopamine that inherently drives people to like the episode more. But I don't hate it as much as other people. There's just some scenes that bring the episode down in my opinion. Then The Battle of the Bastards. I don't know, the Battle of the Bastards episode is probably, to me, one of their worst. Not because of this, the Battle of the Bastards, but because of the, like, Siege of Meereen being so horrendous. I feel like people just forget about the Siege of Meereen. Like, yeah, that happens. The atrocious plan of the Masters trying to assault Meereen against the Second Sons, the Unsullied, even having dragons that can just eviscerate their fleet, is so dumb. Like, 2 seasons of build-up for this moment was horrendous. Who would like this? And then the Battle of the Bastards isn't without flaws either. Like, there's lots of plot armor. By far the worst aspect is just Sansa riding in as like a Deus Ex Machina, saving the day. So, despite the Battle of the Bastards being technically and visually very impressive, I think it's held back, again, by a lot of issues that comes with Season 6 episodes. Number 6, The Children, Season 4. I think it's a really good episode, but there's 2 scenes in particular that I think drag it down. That being Bran getting jumped by whites and how wonky and weird that scene was. Jojen just spontaneously dying out of nowhere. And then, despite Brienne and the Hound's fight scene being conceptually really cool, I think the editing was just terrible, and it was cut to crap and you could barely tell what was happening. and it's more like just headache inducing. Season 1, episode 9, Baylor. Obviously, we know why that's there. Blackwater, I put this at number 2. To me, this is my second favorite battle sequence, so I think that's a really good placement. And then the Spoils of War? The Spoils of War over Blackwater and the Watchers on the Wall? Oh no. Oh boy. Okay, so the thing with Blackwater and the Watchers on the Wall is that it's an entire episode that is spent in that one area. And even with the Blackwater, all the dialogue scenes leading up to the battle are absolutely riveting and are really good. But for Spoils of the War, similar to the Battle of the Bastards, you have to account for all the prior scenes too. Because in season 7, most of the dialogue scenes in comparison to the earlier seasons are like no match. Like they come nowhere close. And there's even a pretty bad scene where Bran just yeets Mira out of the show, so yeah. But even like the actual battle sequence, despite it being really cool and visually impressive, it has probably or arguably one of the dumbest moments in any battle sequence, where Jaime just gets spontaneously saved by Bronn. Let alone Jaime doing that in the first place is such an idiotic idea, and it was just flat out suicidal. I don't know what his plan was. So if anything, I would probably put Spoils of War at the bottom of the battle episodes. The Reigns of Castamere, really good pick, I would absolutely agree. And then Hardhome over the Reigns of Castamere. So according to IGN, Hardhome is both the best battle episode and the best episode just overall. Have they seen the rest of the episode? From Tyrion talking to Daenerys and how easy it was to get into her councilship, more boring scenes with Gilly and Sam, Arya's coma-inducing narrative that puts absolutely everyone to sleep, and then looking at Hardhome itself, I wouldn't even say it's the best battle. It's really good, but it's primarily just chaotic and fastly edited. I don't want to knock Hardhome because it's pretty good. It's just I'd prefer more coherent action than fastly edited action. But at the end of the day, this is IGN's opinion and I completely disagree with the list. But at least it's not a bad episode per se. It's kind of weird to me that they put my 2 least favorite battle episodes in the top 3. That's kind of just wild, but whatever, let's move on. Next we have Vulture. Oh, they ranked every episode, so I'll just run through this and stop wherever there's a... Wait, the Prince of Winterfell at 72? This is a season 2 episode, let alone one of the most iconic Tyrion Lannister scenes where he tells Cersei that her joy will turn to ashes in her mouth is in this episode. How is this episode worse than season 8 and 7? And looking over here is season 4 episodes too. This is gonna give me a while to get through this list. I'll just probably skim through it, but I'm just curious to see their reasoning here. The answer to these questions and more are not in this episode, which is a pure placeholder before the Battle of Blackwater. Apparently this person has never heard of character development, and they just care about plot development, I guess? It's a terrible take. Terrible. Absolutely rancid. I'm just scrolling through this when there's just so many first 4 season episodes just thrown in here. Another season 2. The pointy ends. The last 5 episodes of season 1 are all bangers. What? You win or you die at 48. Oh my. And even the Laws of Gods and Men, Tyrion's trial. What is this person smoking? This is almost worse than the character rankings. The Climb? Oh, it's gonna take me years to get through this. Apparently The Last of the Starks, one of the worst episodes in the entire show, is better than so many great episodes. The Watchers on the Wall at 21, no. I think this is the first battle episode I've seen. Why is IGN and Vulture... Do people not like the Watchers on the Wall? Am I the only one here? I have no words. The Iron... Oh. Oh. Is this Troll? Arguably, I would say the worst episode in the show. This finale is determined to give each of the main characters an ending that suits them? Excuse me? Yes, Bran becoming king because he has a great story is a great ending for his character. I love that. I'd much prefer the Winds of Winter being in the top 10 than the Iron Throne. Alright, let's just say we started at number 10. And we didn't see the atrocity that was above this. Oh, never mind. They can't redeem themselves. The Long Nights in Year 2. What? No. my eyes are actually tearing up. This is really bad. I'm already getting allergies from these lists. This is my second list I'm looking at. I didn't think this would be as bad as the character rankings. I forgot this was even a battle episode and I was talking about past battle episodes, to be honest. But yeah, this is easily the worst. I'm high if I thought Spoils of War was the worst battle episode, because you can't even see the battle episode. Oh, and then another Season 8 episode? I mean, to be fair, Night of the Seven Kingdoms is the best Season 8 episode, but comes nowhere close to any other, like, first 4 seasons. Like, there's a couple good dialogue scenes, but then that's contrasted immediately by, like, really dumb moments where Tormund just becomes a comedic relief character, just chugging giant smoke in front of everyone. They just butchered him. Baylor, alright, good. Congratulations, you put a good episode into your top 10 list. Hardhome, I'd honestly take it at this point. Kissed by Fire, oh, it's getting better. The Rains of Castamere, they're coming back. Battle of the Bastards, of course it's this high. I feel like everyone's like contractually obligated to put Battle of the Bastards within their top 10 or top 5 at this point. Blackwater, good pick. That's even where I put my Blackwater episode. The Bells. I feel like I'm just blocking Season 8 out of my memory because this is also technically a battle episode too. Why would you even like this episode? Just the VFX of dragons making explosions? Is that why it's a good episode? You have one of the stupidest moments where Daenerys turns into a homicidal maniac after winning the war, where simply doing nothing she would have just been fine and would have been a beloved ruler. Oh my god, this is making me ill. Okay, I can't take this seriously. I'm just gonna move on. Let's look at Looper's 30 best Game of Thrones episodes ranked. Okay, why is Season 7 already in top 30? By default, you're saying that Season 7 episodes are better in general than the first 4 seasons. But alright, let's keep going. Kissed by Fire really low. It's either like they have Kissed by Fire in the 20s or in like the top 5. Same thing with IGN, I think they put it at 21. But like, what's the dislike about this episode? Why are people putting it so low? You Win or You Die? Like, these are all contenders for my top 10. You Win or You Die, I think I put in my top 10. How is the Dragon and the Wolf better? Am I just in the drastic minority? Or is every list I've looked at so far atrocious? What is even a good scene in Dragon and the Wolf? The whole meeting between all these characters was just dumb and pointless, because the plan inherently to convince Cersei to help everyone was such a brain-dead plan from Tyrion. And then Tyrion and Cersei meeting is so contrived because she just doesn't kill him, even though she wants to. Littlefinger turns into a dumb child. Like, I could just keep going on. I'm just getting a headache at this point. Beyond the Wall, that's not even... that's, again, one of the worst episodes. Can we get a good list, please? Of course, the spoils and the Queen's Justice. The entirety of the Season 7 is in here. Of course, the Watchers on the Wall. It's getting a bit... Never mind. I was gonna say it's getting better. We just went from And Now His Watch Has Ended and The Lion and the Rose to A Night in the Seven Kingdoms. You honestly can't tell me that episode's better. Everyone's just wowed by the scene where Brienne gets knighted. Oh boy. That makes it a top 10 contender, baby. Winter is coming? Why is episode 1 in here? Like, don't get me wrong, season 1's really good, but that episode's primarily just setting up things and setting up characters. It's not exactly like a best episode, but at least a season 7 episode's not in its place, I guess. Fire and Blood, good pick. I'll take Battle of the Bastards at this point over anything else I've been seeing. The Rains of Castamere, okay. The Children, again, I disagree. Baylor? Okay. Honestly, this is not a bad top 10 list. Blackwater, good. Hardhome, again, I kind of disagree with that notion. And then the Winds of Winter, yeah, of course. So, yeah, 10 and 9 being very questionable picks. Just yeet those out of the list. And honestly, we don't have a bad top 10, but a top 30 list is like a war crime. Why is Beyond the Wall in the top 20? Okay. Alright, yeah, I think we'll just end it there. I was gonna look at a BuzzFeed article top 10 list, but after going through these last 3 lists, I didn't expect them to be this bad, and I just don't have the heart or willpower to go through a BuzzFeed top 10 list. So I think we'll call it here. Thank you for watching, and let me know if I'm just losing my mind in the comments.